On today's video, I'm gonna show you how to create a gorgeous fall display for your fireplace mantle and a tall arrangement for your entryway table. This fall season is just getting started. Keep watching. Hello everyone, I am Ramon. Welcome back to Ramon at Home. I'm so excited you're here today because on today's video, I'm gonna show you how to create a gorgeous fall display for your fireplace mantle using things that you might already have around the home, and it's gonna be transitional for the Christmas season. So if you are interested in how to decorate your mantle for fall, please stay tuned. Don't forget to like this video and share with your friends. If you're new to this channel, please consider subscribing. And while you subscribe, don't forget to turn the notification bell on because we're just now getting started with the fall season and I cannot wait to share more ideas with you. All right, to create this fall mantle and a gorgeous fall tall bouquet for your entryway, let's get started. All right, so before we get started with our brand new mantle idea, I want to point out that this was our farmhouse decor idea. We did a lantern, we did two centerpieces, we did the mantle and a wreath, and all of that's going to be linked down below. But the reason why I'm bringing this up is because for the holiday season, I've chosen a farmhouse style as part of one of the styles that I'm going to be showing you guys on for the holiday season. So I want to remind you that if you've done any of these pieces, do not take them apart because we're going to take some elements out, we're going to put some elements in, and we're going to transition from fall into Christmas. With all of that said, it's time to get started. All right, so I want to let you know before I get started two things. One is that I'm going to be using this Christmas garland. This is a long needle pine garland that I had for Christmas. So I want to encourage you to use your Christmas decor for your fall because then we can transition it into Christmas. And then I'm going to use some foliages to make it look more like a forest theme, which is what I'm going for, so that I can give you a home tour. I'm going to go for a forest theme, not very pumpkins and things like that, but more like the fall feel, the autumn feel that you get when you go outside. So the way you're going to achieve that is by using some of these greenery for Christmas. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that it's even, and then I'm going to start splitting this garland. What you need to do is, because we're going to drape it around here, I guess I should mention that too. I already have these two stands right here, which we're going to put something in. There's going to be something here in the middle. But when you're draping something, what you need to do is you need to make sure that you grab half, and half of it needs to go that way and half of it needs to go this way. So you need to make sure that you pull those bristles. Now it doesn't necessarily have to be this pine garland, it can be any Christmas garland for that matter, but I just love the drama this pine really provides. Now this, in case you're wondering where I got it, I bought it at a store when I lived in Kansas that was called Nail Hills, and I know they still carry it because it is one of their signature pieces. So if you want it, you can Google Nail Hills, I'm gonna put it in the description box, and ask them if they can still ship it. But what I want to do is I'm gonna go ahead and drape it like that. Then I'm gonna start putting those needles down this way, like this. And then I want it to stand up right here on the back so it creates more depth. And then I'm gonna pull those needles down that way. And actually I want it to be a little bit shorter on this side. So I'm gonna go ahead and adjust right here. Now I want this to go on the front, as you guys can see, and then all over on the other side of the mantle. And I will fluff in a second. But I'm gonna grab the second one right here and I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm going to measure it and make sure that it's about the same height. Actually, I want it to be shorter on this side. And then I'm gonna start pulling those bristles, like I told you, and then I'm gonna go over on this side, and I'm gonna do the exact same thing. So just put it over this, and then let it drape on this side, like this. And you wanna make sure that you have them almost the same. So I'm gonna make sure that I pull those bristles down so they look more even with the other side. It's all about balancing your decor. So I'm gonna go ahead and stand these ones right here on the top and the back. And as you guys can see, it creates that swooping down. And then for Christmas, we can just embellish it with other things. But for now, we're gonna just leave it at this right here. I'm gonna bring some of the fall elements. I'll be right back with you and explain the next step. Stay tuned. All right, so the next thing I'm going to add is going to be this really beautiful full garland that is really super full. However, these things, when they come out of the box, they come very flat. So you need to make sure that everything that has a wire your hand touches and fluff it up going forward, because we're gonna layer this into this other garland, so you don't wanna lose some of it. And so we're gonna do about the same thing. We're going to measure about the same height or length as this one right here, and then I'm gonna start draping. Sorry if I give you my back. I'm gonna start draping down, so I'm gonna start right here. Then I'm gonna weave it into these greeneries, and I'm gonna lay it down like this, and just using this pine cones that this garland already has, I'm gonna go ahead and secure it. Now what you want to do here is you want to marry it, and what I mean is, I'm gonna first bring this pine cone up, make them look like they belong together by weaving these pine cones and pines, and just make it look more cohesive, like if it was one. And that is what I love for fall. It's when I go out and I walk or a jog, and then you can see all the evergreens and then like the leaves turning. It just screams fall to me, and it is my favorite time of the year, especially when I lived in the Midwest, because, well, you do smell the fall season coming, and that should be good. So now for this side, I don't have a matching garland, but I want to show you a trick, you guys. This was a wreath that I had, and I just basically put it apart. This was a wreath that came on a little wire form. So what I'm going to do is I put it apart and I did some picks. So I'm gonna start right here with this one right here. Then I'm gonna start right here. And then before I continue, what I'm going to do is I'm gonna start weaving my greenery and my pine cones like I did the other one. And that way is gonna hold it together. And for this, I'm gonna use 4 of these picks. Now I want to mention, this is just so you know that you can use what you have. You don't have to go out and buy brand new all every time. You know, just get creative with the things that you already have around the house. Just make sure you play with them and make sure that you attach. I could attach with a wire, but these pine cones really hold it together, as you can see. So I'm gonna add a third one over on this side. I'm gonna go ahead and secure, and I'll be right back. Stay tuned. All right, so now that I have my garlands fluffed and married together, it's starting to look like fall, and I am in love with it. And now I'm gonna add another element, which is going to be this magnolia foliage. Now I only have 4 of the longer stems and a whole bunch of these clippings that I also just had. These are from Hobby Lobby, and so these are from Shinoda Design Center, I believe. But you can use any magnolia that you may have. And so I'm gonna divide the two, and I'm gonna start right here on the top. I'm gonna start right on this side, so sorry if I give you my back. So I'm gonna start inserting some of this magnolia foliage and just marrying it with the bristles, just like I did with the other one. Then I'm gonna start up here. I wanted to have a bigger foliage, and as you guys can see, just 2 stems really add on our focal point. So I'm gonna do the exact same thing on this other side. So I'm gonna add 2, 1 to this side, like this. Then I'm gonna go ahead and give it a curvature like this, because we're gonna insert from the top. And just go ahead and marry these foliages so it looks like they belong together. I love the effect that this magnolia gives. However, I'm gonna continue to add some of these little clippings, and I'm gonna do all throughout. You can wire them if you'd like to, but I'm just gonna make sure that they stick right there on my foliage. So I'm gonna add some other ones. I'm gonna add one right here. And remember, what happens on the left has to happen on the right, so immediately move over to the other side and not the exact same spots, so that way your garland is really cohesive. And we're gonna fluff all this, of course, at the end. This is just to show you how beautiful this magnolia looks in our garland. And so we're gonna move to the other side and repeat the exact same step that we did. I'm gonna insert one right here, and then a second one right here, and just using my wires already on my garland, I'm gonna make sure that it stays where I want it. All right, so we have just a few steps left, a very dramatic one I can add way to show you. The next step, I'm gonna go get ready, and I'll be right back with you. All right, so what I wanna go ahead and do next is I'm gonna go ahead and add my candles to my stands, and this is what's gonna really anchor my display. Then I'm gonna go ahead and add one of these hurricanes, making sure that all of our greenery just weaves in. So I'm gonna do the same thing over on this one and let the greenery spill forward, because that looks like it's growing into the hurricane. I absolutely love this look. Now here is the secret. We're gonna add a really cool element to this display, and I'm excited to show you. Keep watching. All right, everyone, if you watched last year's Christmas series, you saw me decorate my mom's staircase. It was absolutely gorgeous. If you have not seen those videos, Christmas is coming up. I'm gonna link them down below. But I went ahead and used these particular feathers on her staircase and then also on her cabinet. These are some pheasant feathers, and I absolutely love them. This came from a shop I used to work at in Kansas, but I believe you can find them also at Hobby Lobby, and I wanna show you what they do. to this mantelpiece. I'm gonna only use 4 stems. I'm gonna go ahead and insert one right here. And like I said, you can go ahead and wire all of this if you want. And look at that, it just creates all that drama that your fireplace is screaming for this fall season without having to use any pumpkins, gourds, or any pilgrims. It just gives it that very elegant look. And because they have a really long stem, what you can do is just give them a little curvature at the end so it attaches to one of the stems. And I'm gonna go ahead and insert this one on this side to mimic the one that I just inserted. And look at that, how absolutely stunning and fall look like. I love that. And then to finish it off, I'm gonna go ahead and insert one more right here towards the back. And look at that, it just spills all the way back and all the way forward. And I love this look. Absolutely, I'm in love with it. It looks super elegant, super fall. And like I said, we're gonna transition this into the holiday season. Look at that, just the points of it is just so elegant and gracious, and it just screams fall without having to use those pumpkins. However, I have one last element that is gonna tie it all together. I'm gonna go get it and I'll be right back. All right, and to tie it all together, I have these really cute pheasants that I've had for quite a few years. They're made out of resin and they're done on this like bronzy gold material that I absolutely love it. And then if you guys know, I've told you the story of my grandma's box that I keep somewhere around the house, and right now it's gonna serve as a pedestal. So I'm gonna go ahead and insert one right here, then I'm gonna switch sides and I'm gonna go ahead and put the other one right here. And look at that, I'm gonna face it this way. Look how cute this display turned out. Just a very few elements. The key place right here is these feathers. It really just gives it that drama. And then to tie it all together is the pheasants. I love all the foliages. I love the magnolia. I love the fall foliage and the Christmas garland. If you have a Christmas garland already in your home, all you need is a few more elements so you can put something like this together. And I cannot wait to show you more. What do you guys think? All right, so now that the mantle is done and it's right across from the room, I wanna go ahead and do the foyer because it is the very first thing you see when you walk into the house. And as I explained, it is right across from the fireplace. So they need to be cohesive. So the very first thing I want to explain is I'm using half of that garland that I use on the mantle, and I'm gonna use a whole bunch of greeneries, fall foliages to kind of blend it all together and make it look cohesive. So what I did right here is actually just laid the garland over half left, half right, and I'm gonna go ahead and insert some of these branches that I have, and I'm gonna go start with these greenery branches. And the reason why I want to do that is because I want to create kind of a frog that we call in the industry. We're gonna create a frog, which means that are gonna interlock like this to support our heavier things, and I want to make sure that they go all the way around because it has to be seen from when you first walk in and then also from the dining room on this side. All right, well, if you guys are enjoying these videos, be sure to leave me a comment down below. And if you want to see more fall decorating ideas, leave the hashtag fall so that I know that you are still interested and that you are being inspired by these videos. All right, so now that I have these many branches, I'm going to go ahead and bring the bigger guns and I'm going to give it shape. It's just getting started. All right, you guys, so the next thing I'm gonna add is gonna be these branches. These are pretty heavy and I only have 3. So I'm gonna go ahead and make sure that I have one pointing to my right. I'm gonna go ahead and point one to the left. And these are going to be pulled up because I want them to go all the way to the ceiling. And then I'm gonna go ahead and bring one coming forward right here. And you have to make sure that you kind of have your core right here where everything spills from. That way you have that cohesive look to it. And I love it. This branches is gonna give it that more natural look, like if you picked up this bouquet of foliages from the forest. All right, I'm gonna get more elements, I'll be right back. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to add is gonna be some of these foliages. I'm gonna put some of this down right here. And I'm gonna go ahead and start with this one. Now with these ones, I'm gonna give it a bend like this because are the ones that are gonna spill forward. So I'm just gonna go ahead and insert one right here. And as you guys can see, it goes, oh, it needs to go into the container. It goes all the way down. I'm gonna do the exact same thing with this one. and I want this guy to come all the way down on this side right here. And that's what's gonna frame the rim of our container. And you make sure that you marry those, kind of like we did with the garland and the fireplace. Make sure that you pull them like this, and you pull some of those greeneries forward so it looks more cohesive. All right, so then what I'm going to do is I'm gonna add some of these really pretty maple, and I'm gonna start with one on the top. I have 4, so I'm gonna stop right here and as tall as I can. And then this one, I'm gonna go ahead and give it a bend like this. And I'm gonna start right here. And as you guys can see, it's just creating that really over massive bouquet that I was really going for. And I'm gonna go ahead and add one right here. And as you can see, it's gradually going up. You have one right here, and then you have one right here, and then you have one right here. So it has that step ladder motion that you need for the bouquet to be cohesive. I'm gonna get a second element, and I'll be right back. All right, so now I have 2 stems of this really dark eucalyptus, and with this one, what you wanna do is you wanna go ahead and fluff it, because it's going to go as high up as we can. So I'm gonna start with one right here. And at this point, it's so thick right here that the stems are just staying where I'm put them. So you have to be very selective of where you want those stems, what way you want them to point out. Like this one right here. Oh, it's so pretty. And the mixture of all these fall foliages is what makes it look very beautiful. And oh, I love it. I absolutely love it. All right, a few more and I'll be right back. All right, you guys, so I have some individual picks like the garland I added, and that's what's gonna help us fill in some of the gaps and also bring that greenery forward. I'm sorry if I disappear here for a second, but I have to come all the way here to make it look even. So I'm gonna go ahead and add this right here. Just make it spill forward. And then I also have some of these really pretty berry, and I only have 2 stems. So I went ahead and give it a curvature like this, and I'm gonna add one right here so it's visible. As you guys can see, you can see that berry poking up. Then I'm gonna do one right here. Oh, so gorgeous, so pretty. All right, so then one of my last elements is going to be the magnolia, just like the one we used on the fireplace mantle. I'm gonna start with one right here. What I like about these magnolias, because bigger foliages like this really show. So it's going to really give it that natural look that we are going for. And I'm gonna go ahead and start with some ones that have the curve already, because I want them to spill as forward as possible. And as I mentioned to you before, all you need is just a few of these foliages to really show on your container. Look how pretty that is. And it just gives it that round, sorry if I disappear over here, that round shape that we were going for, and it really helps us to hide some of the empty spots. Oh, so pretty. What do you guys think? So grand, so glorious. There's one last element I want to add, and it's a surprise. Stay tuned. All right, you guys, so I have one last of these feathers, like the ones we put on the mantle, and I'm gonna make sure that I put them somewhere where you can actually see. Oh, the tag. Make sure you take that off. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and put it somewhere where you can see them, where they are in a prominent spot, because we only have one, but we want it to be cohesive with the fireplace. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this guy right here so you can really catch the light, and look how glorious that looks. As you guys can see, creating a gorgeous forest look for your home was super easy and actually very affordable, because most of these items I already had around the house. Now keep in mind that I'm just giving you the idea to inspire you to create something beautiful for your home. So if you don't have any of these items, just play around with the things that you already have in your house and create something beautiful for your fireplace and for your entryway. I cannot wait to read your comments, so leave a comment down below and let me know which of the 2 displays you like best. I cannot wait to read. And if you have not seen all of these year's fall, there's going to be a full playlist down below for you to get inspired to create something beautiful. All right, well, if you are new to the channel, please consider subscribing. Invite your friends to come and check us out so they can come and enjoy the fall fun. And if you want to see a home tour of this place decorated for fall, be sure to leave the hashtag home tour down below. You can watch more videos and consider subscribing today. Until next time, bye. If you are new to this channel, I want to take a second to welcome you and invite you to subscribe for future decorating ideas by hitting this button down here. And if you already subscribed, don't forget to turn the notification bell on so you're notified about every single fall update. We're going to be uploading videos on Wednesdays and Sundays. And if you enjoy this video, I recommend you watch this one right here. And there's going to be a full playlist of all of our fall videos down here. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next one.